Hello everybody, what's up? I'm going to talk about what happened at the Namco event back on the 28th I am now allowed to talk about it. I wasn't able to talk about it until 9 o'clock today, and that was just because they're releasing press stuff this today about the games that were featured at this event. And so I'm just going to get right down to it. There's quite a few things I should talk about. The games that we did get to play, there was games that we obviously know are coming out this year. The new Naruto game, the Dragon Ball Z game, Tales of Symphonia, the re-release. Um, there's a One Piece game on the 3DS that's going to be, we didn't get to play that much. We didn't really play that one. And then there was the new JoJo's and some other games. The new JoJo's, if you played JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the one that came out in Japan, if you imported it or if you played it already, then you should know what to expect. It's just a really fun fighting game. It's eccentric. It was really fun to play. That'll be something that'll be worth picking up in the future. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution was fun. They added a couple new things. It seems like we were fighting Mecha Naruto, and it was fun. It's just one of those games that's just fun to play, and they did a little bit more than they did with the last iteration of the game. Some few changes and stuff. We didn't really get to see much other than just fighting Mecha Naruto, so we don't really know if there's any new characters or not. There was some games. There was actually a playable version of the new Suda 51 game, The Longest Day, and we got to play that. That was actually really fun. That came out of like left field. I had no idea this was actually being worked on, even though now looking at it, there's like new stuff about it, or there was stuff about it from like 6 months ago, and I'm like, shit, how'd I not know about this game? But there was a playable version there. We got to go through a couple of missions. We did record a lot of it, and we did record a lot of what we played, so we'll be putting those up. You'll be able to see them individually in the whole video instead of just small snippets that I'm going to be putting in here. That was a fun game. It's a side-scroller. It's really fucking weird, but it was very fun. I enjoyed playing it, and that will be something worth picking up from my initial gameplay, from my initial playing of it. Another thing that I didn't know that was coming out is a free-to-play Ace Combat game, and the producer for a producer from Ace Combat was actually at the event, and we actually got to play some. I actually got to play some of it, and my God, completely different from the last Ace Combat game we got. It feels more like 5 and 6. It feels really good. It was fun to play. I don't know about the controls. I think the controls were set on simple or something like that because I guess just for testing purposes, it was just really easy. But it was fun. It played really well. I enjoyed it, and it's free to play too. So, and it looks really good. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll have more about that game later on in the future. But that was a really cool game that we got to try out. There was two games that got announced at not announced, but two games that we actually got to see gameplay demos of. The first one was Enemy Front, which is being developed by CI Interactive, City Interactive, the guys who made Sniper Ghost Warrior. They're making a World War II shooter that takes place during the Warsaw Uprising. We actually got to see some gameplay from the story, and me and my friend, who I took along with me, actually got to play it. Sadly, there's no gameplay that we recorded of it because we weren't allowed to record that. For whatever reason, we weren't allowed to record it, but we did get to play through it, and it's pretty interesting. It's got the Sniper Elite and Sniper Ghost Warrior mechanics in it, but it's a first-person shooter. It feels a little bit more weighted and realistic. They said that it was their explanation. They said that it's more of an open world type thing, where you can approach each scenario and each mission differently, stealth, guns blazing, hybrid of the two. However you want to play it, go anywhere you want as long as you finish the objective. So that game looked fairly good. It's coming out on current gen, the 360 and PlayStation 3. It's coming out on that gen. And then the other game that got announced, or the other game that we got to see that we also didn't get to record, they wouldn't let us, is Lords of the Fallen, which is a fantasy RPG, type deal. And from what I heard, it is one of the guys who worked on The Witcher and The Witcher 2 who is making this game. And we actually got to see some of one of the missions. And we actually got to see a boss battle. I'll put some screenshots up of the boss battle that we got to see. It's just screenshots from their website. But it was this really big boss with a shield and a sword called the First Warden or something like that. And we got to see something really cool. There was multiple stages of this boss battle where he got him down to a certain point in his health and his chest armor blew off. It broke. And then you got him to the last stage and he throws his shield away and starts spinning the sword. He's getting real butthurt and he's just swinging his sword towards you, and this like dancing like matter, this dancing type deal. And it was really cool. We got to see it. It's going to be out on next gen, but they had it on PC. Same with Enemy Front. They had them both on PC just for demo purposes. And my god, the particle effects, the graphics, all this stuff that you could see in Lords of the Fallen made me really legitimately interested in it. It felt like it had some elements from The Witcher, some elements from Dark Souls, some elements from like Dragon Age, these just all mixed into one, and it looks like it's not going to be a one button mash fest. The way that the guy went about playing it was he wasn't just up in his face smacking a bunch of times and backing off. He would go in, get a clean hit when the guy missed, back off, wait for his chance to come in, attack again, and that's really cool. It's not going to be like, oh look, I'm going to get in your face and mash and just beat you, and even if you hit me, fuck off. I'm not gonna have any of that. There's some real weight behind how that guy, how they played, or how the characters moved and acted, and the combat looks really fun. So that game was really cool, and they told me that they're gonna release more about these two games in February. So look forward to Lords of the Fallen and Enemy Front. Look forward to more of that in February. And so I'm going to get on with another game that we got to play aside from those two. We played some of Tales of Symphonia, and that's, of course, if you played Tales of Symphonia, the game by now is fun. It was straight up fun. And now we're going to get to I'm going to talk about the game that we went there for, that we wanted to play. That was Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2, we were really excited for. They were going to have a playable version there. Of course they did. They had a lot of stations. And they didn't disappoint. Dark Souls 2, there was 5 classes that they had that we could play as. And the game was hard, okay? Me and my friend died a bunch. A lot of us were dying a bunch. My friend got to this boss called the Dragon Rider, who was just an asshole. He put all of his attacks into the Dragon Rider. Dragon Rider just whooped his shit. There was there was so much to go. We got to go to 4 places. I forgot the names of them. They escape me right now. But you get to go to different places than just, dark Blight Town. These dark places with no light. It's not all eerie and dreary and all this other bull crap. We had some dark areas, some dungeons, and then we also had some vibrant areas that were out in the woods or fields. You got to see a nice ocean, the sun, a sunset, sunrise. It was it was really fun to play. Enemies were, of course, really difficult. I noticed that certain enemies, actually have, you know, that kick, the kick that you get in Dark Souls, that you have in Dark Souls 1, where you can knock a shield out from somebody. You know, you can knock them back, knock their shield out of the way if they're guarding. I noticed that if I guarded too much against certain enemies, that would happen. They would just kick my shield out, I would get stun locked hella hard, and they would just womp on me and I would die. And that was interesting. I've never really seen an enemy do that before, and it seems like enemies now have that. Another enemy type that I encountered was an undead that didn't have any weapons but could grab onto you and like slowly eat you and do damage and stuff. And I don't think there was a button prompt or anything to get out of that. But that was another thing I hadn't seen either. That was a big thing that happened. One other cool thing was that when you're fighting enemies, sometimes enemies lie in wait. We already know this. They'll like lie down, pretend they're dead or whatever. But I noticed that if I was engaging an enemy, sometimes other enemies would show up out of nowhere, and I would end up having to fight them. And I was like, where the hell did you guys come from? And the game was overall really fun. There was another covenant that we got to see. Me and my friend both joined this covenant. I believe it was called the Convoy, or some Covenant of Champions, Convoy of Champions, Covenant of Champions, something like that. It was just like this giant slab that had writing on it, and you joined the covenant, and you got like this tablet that told you all the champions. And I'm not sure exactly what that covenant was or what it's supposed to do, but as far as I know, we don't know of very many covenants in the game, and we got to witness we got to see a new covenant, or like I haven't seen anybody talk about this covenant. I'm not entirely sure, like I said, not entirely sure what the covenant does or what it's about, but there is a new covenant. It's like Convoy or Covenant of Champions, something like that. It's one of those words. It's something of champions. And there were some more cutscenes. We actually got to see a couple of cutscenes with these old guys talking about an undead you coming to them. There were some cutscenes, and there was, like I said, a lot of areas. There's a lot of areas, a lot of places. The architecture was great. Oh, another thing is with bonfires, you can actually travel between places. You don't need anything now to travel between bonfires. You can just straight travel. We were able to travel to multiple places just like that. But the thing with the demo, or with the playable version that we tried out, we weren't able to level up at bonfires. Apparently one guy got to an area where it said you are now able to level up at bonfires. So I think that was just something that they put in for this version of the game, for the playable version at this event. I don't know if that's an actual feature or not, but that's what happened to us. We weren't able to level up. Some dude got there and was able to level up. There's a lot more NPCs in the game. There's a lot more NPCs. You can interact with more people. There's, there's a couple merchants that we got to try out there. We also got, another thing is I got to talk to a talking cat. I believe it's the same one. I think it's the same one from the forest in Dark Souls. Her name escapes me right now, but I think it might be the same one. But it was a talking cat, and I was like, this is not bueno. But there was a lot of cool things that happened that we got to witness. Parrying, of course, like everybody says, is harder. I tried parrying. I could not parry for the life of me. I got a lot of backstabs. Backstab animation looks badass. Is hella cool. There was just a lot of things that we were just having so much fun playing it. We got to play it for about, I think, 40 minutes or something like that. And I believe one of the guys that was playing there actually got to the Mirror Knight boss, and then my friend got to the Dragon Rider boss, I didn't get to any bosses, but it was just fun to go around different these different places and see like what the environments of Dark Souls 2 is going to be like. So that's got me really excited. And and then yeah, that's pretty much all that we got to see there. They had a raffle. They had some guys over at Nvidia that came by beforehand and said, hey, we had wanted some cards. We had some video cards to give away. They had like 3 GTX 660s and then a GTX 760 to give away. And my friend won the 760. And that was just, it was a very well done event. It was very fun. We all got like free things at the end of it. I'll put a picture up of what we all got. We got like a Goku statue and like some other types of like some other free stuff. The Goku statue was actually the best part of the whole thing, and it was a really well planned event. Thank you, Jay, the community manager over at Namco, for inviting me to come to the event. We got to play a lot of games. We took quite a bit of footage of some of the games. And hopefully I'll be invited to more of these in the future so I can give you guys updates and show you guys different games and what have you that they're coming out with. So look forward. I'm going to be putting up all those videos today. You'll be able to see all the videos from Ace Combat, Naruto, JoJo's, Longest Day, and I believe those were the 4 that we recorded. I do have a copy. Jay was nice enough to give me a free copy of Battle of Z. He gave me 2 copies, and I'm gonna be raffling off one of them at Rafflecopter. I'll leave the link down below. If you guys want to, you fill out the different criteria, you know, like follow me on Twitter, retweet this, or what have you, and you will actually be entered in to win a PlayStation 3 copy of Battle of Z, and this will hopefully be the one out of many giveaways that I'll be able to do on this channel. So follow the link down below, go fill out the Rafflecopter thing, and on February 7th it will pick a winner, and I will let the person know who won, and you will get a free copy of Dragon Ball Z and Battle of Z on the PlayStation 3. And I do have, one last thing is I did manage to get my hands on a Killer Instinct stick, so look forward to that video. After this one goes up, I'll be talking about this stick in depth and how good it is and all that stuff. So anyway, I've rambled on enough about this shit, so if you go look at the other videos as they're uploaded, you'll enjoy all of them. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Follow the link for the Rafflecopter giveaway. And I am Dan, and I will see you guys next time. See you guys later.